Hi everybody, and welcome to this live video. Welcome to this group video. I think I'm also going to share this on my timeline because I want to speak about alignment, the state of alignment, the state of being in connection with yourself or with your spirit. I also want to speak about manifestation and how it works from my perspective, and manifestation in relationship with acknowledging abundance. Now guys, we are guided by our higher self. We are guided by our spirit to be in a constant state of let's say joy and happiness. Okay, so this spirit, this higher self, is coming from what it's called source energy, which is universal consciousness. It is coming from the energy that represents positivity and a state of flow. It comes from the source of all things. It is actually our true authentic self. Now, what I come to realize is the fact that in the spiritual journey we are experiencing moments where we are feeling connected to this higher self, where we are feeling connected to this self that represents joy, peace, harmony, bliss, forgiveness, this self that represents creativity, abundance, the self that represents higher consciousness maybe. Now, it's super important to stay connected into this aligned state, and I'm also going to speak about how to connect to this aligned state. So I believe that connecting to this aligned state is about a recognition, and it's about healing ourselves. It's about healing our energy. It's about taking care of our energies. It's about listening to your heart. It's about listening to your intuition. It's about following your guidance, guys. Whatever you feel that is positive within your own body, whatever you feel that is inspirational within your own consciousness, I suggest go ahead and follow that, because that is your higher self, that is your guidance, that is the state of vibrational alignment, which again means being connected to your own spirit, being connected to your own self, to your own authentic self, to your complete self. Now, manifestation happens when we are acknowledging the state of abundance. Okay, from my perspective, yes, manifestation could be about getting something externally. Manifestation could be about expressing something externally, but manifestation also happens at an energy level. Manifestation also happens at a quantum energy level. It means that you are always manifesting. Okay, you are not always creating through action, you are not always creating through doing something. You are also creating through your state of consciousness. Okay, so Alan Watts, a great spiritual teacher, said that don't calculate your days regarding the actions that you did. Calculate it and see it regarding your state of consciousness. Okay, so vibrational alignment and acknowledging abundance is about a recognition. Okay, a recognition of beingness. Okay, in many spiritual traditions they spoke about beingness as being more powerful than doing. Okay, of course you also got to step into action. This is also a good perspective. This is also something that we need, to also step into action and to also manifest through action. But what I come to realize is the fact that we are always abundant, and I have posted a picture of myself with the description that said that lack and being in a state of lack is actually an illusion. Okay, so we live in a pure abundant universe, and this consciousness of the present moment, this consciousness of inner peace, represents that abundant universe. Okay, this consciousness of being complete with yourself represents the universal consciousness of abundance, represents the universal flow of life, represents the principle of freedom. Okay, where you are constantly changing and you are constantly shifting and you are actually being at peace with yourself. Now, I also want to speak about programming and how it actually affects our manifestation process, because we are being thrown in a system, we are being thrown into mental programming, we are being thrown into mental patterns, And we are always, it seems like in this society that we are living, we are actually in competition with each other, guys, okay? And it is my perspective that when you let go of outer competition, you realize that you are only in competition with yourself, okay? You should always be in competition with yourself. You shouldn't compare yourself to another, okay? Because another being has its own things to do, you know? We are only in competition with ourselves, okay? So the moment that you actually take care of yourself, and the moment that you actually take care, and the moment that you take responsibility for yourself, you realize that you are your own master, you are your own guidance, you are your own master again, okay? You are your own spirit guide. And the moment that you actually make peace with yourself is the moment that outer circumstances cannot affect your inner state of consciousness, okay? This is also a state of abundance, a state of completion, okay? This is actually inner peace. And from my perspective, inner peace and mental peace and emotional peace is actually the most important thing that we could actually offer ourselves. It is actually a thing that we owe ourselves. Inner peace, guys. Inner peace, and a state of consciousness that is complete, a state of consciousness that is at peace with where he or she is, you know. So find the inner peace. This is also part of today's message. Find the inner peace, guys. Find the inner peace, and realize that it's super important to actually be at peace with yourself. This is also how to find abundance, you know. When you have a clean mind, when you have a clear mind, when you have a clear perception, when you have a clear vision, then the universe has to actually offer you that, because now you are not in resistance with universal consciousness. And from my perspective, the universe is conscious, and the universe is always responding to you, okay? This is also part of the law of attraction. The universe is responding to you. The universe is actually offering you what you are, and it is actually offering you, it is responding to the energy that you have, to the thoughts that you have, you know. So take care of your thoughts, take care of your thoughts, and take care of your energy. Take care of these things, and realize that the moment happens when you will feel complete. But you gotta constantly, in a way, channel this energy. You gotta constantly be at peace with yourself. You gotta constantly find ways in which you alchemize yourself. The process of alchemy is super important. The process of alchemy is super important. The process of self-forgiveness is super important. The process where we allow ourselves to feel is super important, you know. So what happens if we cannot find this state of consciousness? What happens if we cannot find the state of consciousness of being at peace? We are constantly questioning it. Okay, why am I not at peace? What is happening within my own consciousness? What are the outer circumstances that are actually not allowing me to be at peace? And usually the answer is within. The answer is within, in your perception. You know, someone said that if you change your thoughts, you will actually change your world, you know. So how do you perceive stuff? How do you perceive stuff? How do you perceive the things that are actually happening to you? You know, do you perceive it with a peaceful perception, or are you in resistance, or are you in reactivity? Do you respond to things in a conscious way, or are you in a state of consciousness of always fighting and of always being in separation with the other? Are you trying to actually boost your ego with fighting? You know, but what I come to realize, guys, is the fact that the moment that we actually look within ourselves is the moment that we find a new state of consciousness, you know. And this is related to responsibility, and responsibility is not always about doing stuff, or it's not always about what I'm trying to say is the fact that responsibility is also about taking care of our inner self and how we choose to respond to certain things. Because I've realized that even these days, even in the past days, I have been triggered by a loved one of mine, and I made the mistake of actually reacting to those things. I made the mistake of actually putting my ego in front and actually trying to fight those things. But what I come to realize is the fact that the issue was within myself. I knew that in a way, deep down, I knew that I had to heal those things within myself first. I had to take care of my beliefs and question my beliefs in order to actually fix the problem. And I realized that when I actually express a different, more peaceful version of that situation, then even the other person changes, because I sent him that energy, you know. So it's about responsibility and how we choose to express ourselves, how we choose to consciously take care of a situation, of a circumstance. We have the power to influence things with our self-expression. We have the power to influence those around us with the energy that we send, you know. So it's about taking peace, and it's about being at peace with yourself. The moment that you are being at peace with yourself, you will find abundance, spiritual abundance, material abundance. You will find everything that you need the moment that you are being at peace with yourself. Okay? So yeah, be at peace with yourself, guys. This is today's message. Try to be at peace with yourself as much as possible and realize how much power you have within yourself. Let's do the dance if you're peaceful. Okay, let's do the samba, the Janeiro if we're peaceful, you know. So guys, this is today's message. Realize that if you are being in a constant state of peace and in a constant state of flow, you are being in vibrational alignment. Remember, manifestation doesn't only happen through action, it also happens through a state of consciousness, okay? We are creating with our thoughts and feelings as well. We are not only creating with doing, even if doing is also important, but more like we are creating with our state of consciousness. Whatever your state of consciousness you are being into, that is what you will actually attract, okay? So it's about an acknowledgement, and it's about realizing that you are never in lack. Lack is an illusion. Lack is about our beliefs. Lack is about competition. Lack is about not seeing the happiness that you are into in the present moment. Guys, this was today's message. I also do one-on-one coaching sessions. If you want to work with me, and if you really want to shift your consciousness from the inside out, if you really want to really get to know stuff about how universal consciousness works, and if you want to learn how to be in a better state of consciousness, feel free to send me a message and let's step into the play. Because what I realize right now is the fact that I am at peace, and it doesn't really have to be that hard. It's about a recognition. It's about shifting the attention from the limiting consciousness of lack into the infinite consciousness of abundance and of having. Guys, thank you for watching, and see you on what's coming up next. Much peace, and I love you.